Guys, welcome to the last video of this reading session. So this is the fifth video and it's the last one. So this chapter is called The Daydream and it's on page 64. So we're reading The Job Hunt and it's on the Facebook page if you want to read along. And this is the fifth part. So if you haven't already done the earlier ones, you can go back and do those as well. So page 64, The Daydream. The subway train went on past Wall Street, going north. Tim looked at the job openings ad in the paper. Kurt looked up at the posters that were hanging on the walls of the train. One of them was a poster of two star baseball players. The players seemed to smile down at Kurt, as if to say, "This is the life, man." Kurt stared at the poster and daydreamed. He could hear a man speaking. The man was calling out the play-by-play for a baseball game. 2 out in the ninth inning, the man said. The home team is down by 2 runs. So, Mark, it looks like it's all up to Kurt Gunter at this point. Okay. So they're still on the subway, they're still on the train, they're going past Wall Street, going north. And Tim is reading the paper and Kurt is looking at a poster of baseball players. So baseball's a sport that they play in America. So I guess it's a bit like cricket, but an American version. So you hit a ball and then run round different posts. So he's looking up at the posters and he's daydreaming. So he's thinking what it would be like if he were a baseball player, if he could be on the poster. And he's imagining, so all this next bit isn't real, it's just what Kurt is thinking in his head. So he's thinking about these two people talking about a baseball game. So 2 out in the ninth inning, this is the game that's happening. And so it ends by saying it looks like it's all up to Kurt at this point. So whether they win, it's all up to Kurt. And so the picture on this page, we can see Kurt is looking up at the poster of the baseball players. So this is a type of outfit. So you can see that someone's got a bat to hit the ball and he's got a glove to catch the ball. So you need to catch the ball to win. And so Kim's reading the paper and Kurt's looking up at this poster. So this is still the daydream in Kurt's head. "Well, James," said a different voice, "Kurt Gunter has had such a good year. As you know, the former spaceship pilot and race car driver is leading the team in hits, home runs, and runs batted in. He has hit the ball so well this year that most fans I've spoken with think he's the bee's knees. In fact, I had a caller on my show, Sports Yap, last week, who told me he thinks Gunter should make twice what they pay him." So Gunter steps up to the plate. Here's the pitch. It's a strike. The fans are mad. They don't like the call. They think it was a ball, but Gunter himself seems not to mind. He steps back into the box. Here's a pitch. Gunter swings. Smack. Look out, Mark. He got a bit of that one. It's a long fly ball to the left. It's going. It's going. It's out of here. Kurt Gunter has hit a home run. Home run by Gunter. We win. We win. Okay. So like I said, all of this bit is what Kurt's daydreaming about. It's what he's thinking about. So he's thinking he's playing the baseball game. And there's some things in here. So he says the former spaceship pilot and race car driver. So in Kurt's head, he thinks he used to be a spaceship pilot. He used to go into space. And a race car driver, he used to drive really fast cars. It says, this is quite a hard phrase. It says, most fans I've spoken to think he's the bee's knees. And if someone or something is the bee's knees, it just means they're really good. So most fans think he's really good. And a lot of these terms are just terms about baseball, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But basically what happens, it says Gunter swings, so he swings like this, and smack, he hits the ball. He hits a home run, so this is really good. So the ball goes out of the park, and that means that they win. So Kurt has won the game. And the picture, we see Kurt, he's thinking what it would be like if he were a baseball player. We see him as a baseball player. Okay. James, I'm telling you, that's why Kurt Gunter is a rich man. Gunter is rounding the bases. He tips his hat to the fans. The fans are going wild. They are shouting, Kurt, Kurt, Kurt. Just then, Kurt looked up. Kim was shaking him and saying, Kurt, Kurt, this is our stop. So this bit, the daydream carries on. So Kurt is very rich in his daydream. He makes a lot of money. And all the people in the stadium are chanting his name. They're shouting, they're saying, Kurt, Kurt, Kurt. But who's also saying Kurt, Kurt, Kurt is Kim. So in real life on the train, Kim is shaking him and she's saying, this is our stop. We need to get off the train. And the next we see a picture of Kim and she's trying to wake him up out of his daydream and say, we need to get off the train. So we have some questions for this one as well. So if you pause the video and look back in the book after I ask the question, and you can write down your answer for yourself. So number 1, what is on the poster that is hanging on the wall of the subway train? So what is on the poster on the train? What is it a picture of? So if we look back on the very first page, it says that there's baseball players on the poster, and we can see this in the picture as well. So the poster is of some famous baseball players. Number 2, in Kurt's daydream, why is Kurt a rich man? So in his daydream, why is Kurt rich? So in his dream, he's a famous baseball player, and that's why he's rich, because he makes a lot of money and he's very good at playing baseball. And the next one, question 3. In Kurt's daydream, who shouts, Kurt, Kurt, Kurt? So in his daydream, who's shouting his name? So in his daydream, Kurt's fans are shouting his name because he's a baseball player and they're watching him and they're shouting because he's winning. So it's his fans, the people watching the baseball game. And question 4 is, in real life, who is shouting Kurt's name? So not in his daydream, but in real life, who's shouting Kurt's name? And the answer to that one is Kim. Kim is shouting his name because they're on the subway and they need to get off. And Kurt is daydreaming, he's not there. And so Kim shouts him and says, we need to get off. And that's the end of those questions, and that's the end of today's session. So thank you so much for taking part, guys, and sorry we couldn't get the live stream working again. And as well, we've not quite finished the book, so if we have another session, we'll carry on reading the rest of it. Also, if you want to carry on reading it yourself, you're more than welcome. So thank you, guys.